Hi, this is Nick from Elite Outdoor Fitness. This is a video blog on the basics of food and water intake when you're starting to train. You don't need to go overkill on this. I think certainly as you start training, you're going to find quite a bit of balance all through your life. You know, we're talking sleep patterns, alcohol intake maybe, and also kind of your nutritional intake and how you kind of have a bit more balance throughout your diet. Because we can all kind of get, especially at this time, a bit wrapped up with diet as we go on diets, we come off diets, the same as fitness when you get it wrong. But it's about having there's something in your life that's consistent, when I'm talking the nutritional side of things, to make sure that you're really consistent and that you're having a bit of balance. And what I mean by that is not overdoing it by drinking 4, 5, 6, 7 times a week, or even potentially 3 times a week, but just kind of doing it in moderation and in eating all your kind of high glycemic type of foods like your sugars and starchy foods, like cakes and biscuits and chocolates and sweets and pastas and rices and breads and stuff like that, and just having a little bit more balance so that you're not overkilling all those types of foods each week, and maybe increasing the intake in vegetables and the more nutrients that have really got a larger number of kind of good, healthier phytochemicals and nutrients to help you with recovery, and also kind of essentially lose weight and become a little bit leaner because of that, and increase your basal metabolic rate, which means burning fat in the background. So what do you do when you start training? I think it's really important to not change that routine, whether that's your sleep patterns or your nutritional intake, certainly too much, because as I said before, it will just start to balance out and come in line with the more training that you do. And if you start doing it at the same time as you're starting to maybe build up a bit of walking into your weekly routine, or even then jogging and running and maybe some other kind of cross-training exercises, if you add it all in at one go, it just becomes a bit too overwhelming and you become less consistent and then you drop off the other end. So what I would say is make sure that you do everything in moderation, and that's drinking plenty of water and juices throughout the day, and also kind of finishing your drinking maybe, I don't know, an hour or 2 before you go to bed, to make sure you kind of get a good sleep and get into the deeper sleep, REM patterns in your sleep, rather than having to get up and go to the toilet 5 times a night. And also to make sure that the next morning when you're doing some exercise or at that lunchtime, all your kind of cells are saturated with plenty of fluids and they're all kind of hydrated correctly. What I tend to do, which helps a lot, is cut out the caffeine quite a bit. I only have like 3-4 coffees a week, and that's normally probably 2 hours before some of my more arduous sessions, just to give me a little bit more motivation. And I drink loads of fruit teas and water and things such as that. Some of the fruit teas are really good, with ginseng or orange or ginger and lemongrass and things like that. And they're all kind of products that help with exercise performance and motivation without the use of caffeine, and also the increase your metabolic rate, i.e. what you're burning in the background. At the same time, before I go into a training session, I just make sure that an hour or 2 before I've just had something very small to eat. Something that doesn't upset my stomach when I'm training, but at the same time, if I'm really hungry and I have to go training, the training session tends not to happen. So I've learned from that, and I just make sure that I'm motivated, I'm fluided up, and I've had a little bit to eat, maybe 2 or so hours before. I hope this helps, and thanks for listening.